Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow, joined at the desk today by Joshua Fekez Quest as we are in the middle of a best-of-3 series between Simon Fraser University, who are leading 1-0 over University of British Columbia. We'd love to stay and chat, but we already have the picks and bans to start breaking down for you, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of action coming through off the front end already. It's looking a little bit more traditional to UBC style, picking up the Kaisa off the rip.
We have switched sides. That is UBC on the blue side. That is SFU on the red side. Still a lot of jungle focus, ban from SFU. So they are going with that same strategy. They locked in Zaya and Rakan just like they did before as well. And this time around, Kaisa is going to make it through. Kane is going to be hovered over by Boyru. Maybe looking for that early jungle pick, something that they didn't do. They actually picked the jungle in the second part of the draft last game. And that is something they're going to remedy this time and pick themselves up an aggressive jungler, something that Boyru is used to and comfortable with. Go with that Kane. Meanwhile, Alistar is going to be locked in with that Kaisa on the bot side.
Yeah, no, they definitely want to pick up all sorts of pressure throughout here, and it's going a lot faster. Cho'Gath still for Aelith, something they want. They've not changed up too much of their composition. We're in the second round of the bans here and making sure that all of their tactics can still be played the same way. Now the Alistair for Regis, I really like that pickup, especially along with the Kaisa. They're going to ban Darius in the top lane, knowing that Mirror Knight might want to find something a little bit more aggressive here.
The Darius, that is actually one of Mirror Knight's champions that he plays a lot in that top side, so they're going to ban that one out. They don't want any sort of aggression onto this Cho'Gath. He did so well in Cho'Gath, and actually SFU are doing almost the exact same thing they did last game. They're getting the Cho'Gath. They have the Zaya Rakan bot lane. Main difference right now is that they are banning out that Darius with something that was not picked up last game. They're actually going to ban out Anivia as well from Luminous. Again, it's something that Luminous has been playing, one of those zone controlled mages he does very well on. It's going to take that one away, and they're not going to go with that. Obviously, they're not going to go with 2 extra jungle bans because Kane is already locked in for Boyru, so no sense in doing that.
Hit the solo laners.
Hit the solo laners and deal with Kane on the Rift.
Yeah, they banned Kane last time around. It'll be a Trundle ban this time away as they maybe try to give a taste of the jungle ban medicine back over to Simon Fraser University, so they want to make sure that one doesn't get through. So Trundle off the table, potentially the Elise hover. I would be surprised to see it. I would love to see it. It's been a long time since there's been a great Elise throughout Summoner's Rift, either in pro or casual play, but that's going to be the Karma prioritization for the mid lane there. Shyami going to be taking that one in.
And again, they're just going with essentially almost, actually, let's go say that is going to be, I'm sorry, that is a Karma mid lane. You just said that. Rakan's already locked in. That's something they did not have last time. They had the Zoe last time, but the Zoe is banned. They're going to fall back on to that Karma and just give it a little bit more of a speed boost, something that they relied on so heavily last game. I wouldn't be surprised they locked in. No, I'm sorry, Skarner is not locked in, but Olaf is still available right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the jungler for SFU because it kind of has that same idea, run in your face, kill you. Something that they did so well with the Cho'Gath, with the Rakan, and now they're going to add Karma shield boost to it as well.
Yeah, something that can keep up with that speed. And keep in mind, we saw the Shirilias coming out from Set Navrik last time, and that ended up being a big one for him. But this time around, it's going to be UBC saying, look, Mirror Knight had a rough game on Shen. It's not going to happen again. We're going to bounce back from this one.
Ooh.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Asinza, that would be interesting, but no. Graves was banned out last time. He's an aggressive jungler that can actually duel Kane in the jungle pre-level 6. He's going to go and lock that one in. That way he doesn't get evaded on as early. And again, at level 6, Boyru, he can't have the advantage. He can actually dodge the collateral damage with his own ultimate.
Yeah.
And that might be something that he wants to look at.
The good old reversal.
Very much so, yeah. Graves, pretty solid pickup. Doesn't really fit into the way of catching, though, but does offer a lot of raw power onto the side of SFU, which they sorely need considering they're going with that Karma mid lane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, despite what you may see on your screen here right now, we do have a little bit of a flipped overlay. That is going to be University of British Columbia on the blue side and Simon Fraser on the red side. We'll try to get that one fixed for you as soon as possible here. So we do want to make sure these players are fairly represented here and throughout. Simon Fraser winning last game on the blue side. The side's not as preferable for most teams. A lot of teams, given their chance, are going to pick, yeah, we got it fixed. A lot of teams, given their chance, are going to default to that red side. It's sort of preferable. So if Simon Fraser wins first on blue, you know, there may be a lower seed red side. Hey, it's a bit more preferable. I think I like their draft in the first game a little bit better. This time, you know, it was a better reactionary ban phase, especially for UBC. We'll see now what they can do, because the Casio going to be a pretty big question mark for he here, and Kaisa for Makoto, these seem both like upgrades in the positions they had compared to the Katarina and Zaya from last game.
Makoto does prefer the Kaisa, and of course, Cassiopeia. One of the things that really hurt UBC last game was that it was a pivotal part where they took Baron a little bit early, and it didn't work out for them. They actually all ended up dying, giving, I think, a triple kill over to Aleph.
Yeah, it was really rough.
Having a Kaisa would help that out. Kaisa does Barons very quickly. Another champion that does, Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia can do Barons so quickly, and they might just want, not to mention heal up with the Twin Fangs that's poisoned, as you constantly keep the poison on the Baron. Not to mention you can create a zone to keep people from being able to flash in with a miasma. Might be something that UBC wants to anticipate this time, because it looks like they have solid laning mechanics. They were able to outplay SFU early on in the laning phase, and then again, just that Baron kind of ruined everything for them, made SFU a lot more powerful, and they may want to try to just fix that this time around.
SFU, they were still trying to make these big, broad strokes, these punches. They were trying to come out swinging. They found foothold after foothold, but really couldn't make anything stick. And yeah, the Baron really was the 5 pounds of bricks that broke the camel's back. It wasn't quite just a straw. It was a little bit more dramatic than that, if you will, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they all died and gave the kills over to Aleph. Not good at all.
That was definitely the tipping point on the scale, but still, SFU had been building momentum at the time. They seem to be a momentum-driven team. Here, now, there's a lot of momentum going into game number 2.
SFU, they have that momentum right now. UBC, they need to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And number 1 was already hard enough. Number 2 is not going to be easy for them, but if they can grind that one out, they have a little bit of chance in game number 3, put SFU on the back foot a little bit. That's something they're looking to do. This is the semifinals. The winner of this match will go on to face, go on tomorrow to the finals to face the eventual winner of Robert Morris University versus Urbana-Champaign in Illinois later on today, right after this match actually, this best of 3, I should say. So.
I believe we're still trying to start that one at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we're going to stay on. Yeah, I forgot. We're going to actually stay on a strict schedule about that one. So, yeah, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, as we do tick down the final seconds before we do get into game, my name is Kyle Corvus Crow. Yet again, Joshua Fekes Quest. We'll be holding down the desk with you all weekend long. Want to share a little bit of information about CSL and some of our sponsors, people who make events like this here, Huntington Beach and Southern California, possible. So I want to give a huge shout out to Twitch. As always, nothing but gratitude for their continued help and support. Be on the lookout for cool ways to get involved with Twitch, twitch.tv. It's probably where you are now. If you're watching this one live, you can also find them out, twitter.com/Twitch, facebook.com/Twitch. Cool ways to get involved with everything they're doing here in the near future. I want to give a huge shout out to Juice Battery for keeping us online here with the power. They got a power charging station as well as you know, all their sponsorship opportunities that they're doing for us here, and so I want to give just the biggest of shout-outs to them. Battery lasts 6 times as long, charges twice as fast, so don't be caught dead on arrival. With that, the last one that we do need to hit on here, iBuyPower. Those guys have been awesome to us, just making this event possible with the computers that they've been using to keep the players kind of up to speed with the latest technology. I mean, we have the computers here. They're all iBuyPowers for the LAN and the Fortnite, the Open tournaments and the like. The Counter-Strike and Dota players playing there, the League of Legends players. I think the only game not involved on an iBuyPower machine is, for obvious reasons, Smash. Which is coming at you a little later today.
Which we have all the, so I'm not a Smash player. I don't understand the mentality of the Smash player. I think it has something to do with frame rates. They also have the old style TVs.
CRTs, yeah.
CRTs. I didn't even know.
Oh, no, it's going to be Smash 4.
It's going to be Smash 4.
Yeah. So,
I saw 3 CRTs up there.
You know what? There are some CRTs around. That's a mystery. We'll get to the bottom of it eventually.
Either way, Smash is going to be upstairs no matter what. There's also a charge and chill area up there as well. You'll be able to charge up your phone. Thank you, Juice Battery, for that one, of course. But a lot going on here. We're going to have a concert later on as well. We have sponsors outside. There's a lot. If you're in the Southern California area, stop by. It's Huntington Beach, California. It's at the Alt Arena. It's a beautiful venue.
Oh, it's been awesome to us, and we could not be happier to be here with them for this experience. This is one of the coolest events CSL's ever done.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I get to be a part of it. I'm glad to be here on the desk with you, Fekes. I think it's a nice run, all things considered. And of course, we have the CS:GO, the Dota as well, kind of on the main stage going on there, and a lot of hype around this day.
Yeah, we have a lot of big names here. I know we have Sminks, one of the hosts.
Sure.
So we actually a meet and greet with her as well. We also have a meet and greet with Hungry Box later on.
That actually happened already.
That actually happened.
That was at 1 o'clock earlier. So
how do you keep all this in your head?
I missed it. Well, we have this lovely program here. So
it's right there.
I reviewed it. So
all right. Well, maybe you should be the color guy.
Maybe so. The problem is when we get into items.
It's okay.
The numbers, it starts to. Have you ever seen? I forget which movie it is with Zach Galifianakis, but he's doing all these number crunching equations in his head.
That's The Hangover.
Okay, well
he's playing in Vegas because that's where the bachelor party is.
Okay, sure.
He is a genius with blackjack.
Okay, so I have that, except it's all none of it makes sense. It's all just jumbled, and I'm not keeping track of everything. It's words in foreign languages moving on by and numbers that I don't understand.
That could be a sad story if we really want to delve into that one.
Okay, well we're not going to go too far down to that dark road. No staring into the void today. Instead, we're going to stare at some League of Legends. We have the game back up for you here, ladies and gentlemen.
And what good
game
timing. Yeah, speaking of void, SFU, they're trying to put UBC into a void right now.
Sure.
Keep them on the back foot into this game number 2. Not bring this to a game number 3. SFU, they want to charge and chill after this one and just be done with it. Look forward to tomorrow.
Prepping for tomorrow, yeah.
Start prepping for tomorrow and enjoy the convention today.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all so much. We also have a little bit more void coming through with Cho'Gath and Kaisa as well, void champions. So, thematic.
Do love the references.
It all spills out. This time, no crazy level 1s coming out and about. No one's too concerned with what they're seeing and doesn't want to get into a position where, maybe in some trouble.
No, we're going to see the line of scrimmage. Last game we did see a pretty big invade actually coming out from, I think almost both sides, which was interesting. But we're just going to see the line of scrimmage this time around. SFU, they want to play just a little bit less aggressive, try to bring this game into into an easy mid game where they thrive. They had trouble in the early game. They had trouble in laning phase. They don't want to take too many risks and hurt themselves that much more going into this laning phase. They just want to play conservative. They want to just scout out everything, draw that line of scrimmage, and get the game going on their terms, on their pace.
They knew laning phase was impactful for them. They knew it's where they found their advantages. They want to maintain those advantages. So a little bit of information given over. They're probably going to know that it is the strong side start coming out for Didango there. He's not at his red buff, obviously. The question mark ping's coming down because that's the invade from Boyru. They want to make sure that they can get everything moving in the right direction that early on. And with Makoto and Regis there, both down on that side, making sure there were no funny business being conducted thereabouts. It's a pretty strong start for the likes of University of British Columbia here. Looks like a clean invade.
That's one of the advantages of playing a Kayn, is that you can have that aggressive jungling style. Where now he's going to have a 3-buff start. Although Didango, he is scouting out possibly down on the red side, but we do see that he's going to
threaded the needle really well there.
That is going to be interesting. So Boyru, he's still invading. He's taking the Raptors right now, which if you're not going to start. Actually, that is on his side of the jungle. So I think Didango, he may have actually just.
No, he's level 2 still.
Yeah, you're right. No, he just wasted a lot of time.
Yep, that one hurts. He's still going to be very far behind, and the blue buff as well, just waiting for Boyru at this point. So he'll get his first blue buff, and it's going to be a 3 clear to a 1 clear, and that's pretty rough for the likes of Didango here. They still maintain the slightest of gold advantages, but when it comes to getting off those early ganks and maintaining jungle pressure throughout, Boyru is going to have a huge advantage.
I'm really glad that UBC decided to pick a jungler first draft, something I feel like they should have done last game. That way they don't have 5 or more champions taken away from Boyru. Because if he's on his comfort zone, it may be the biggest difference in the world for University of British Columbia. And we're seeing that already, once again, affecting Didango. Taking away his buff, 3 buff start for Boyru. He's making his way back up. Skip the Wolves, going to actually meet Didango right now. So one of the downsides of having a 3 buff start is that your health bar hurts quite a bit.
We mentioned, too, Didango really being able to dual Kayn early on, so probably not going to be too afraid, but this is going to be the collapse coming in from several members. It's going to be calling down Aelith. Mira Knight is there, gets the taunt, but is it enough time? Aelith wants to get in onto Luminous here, and they seem to be just trying to buy some time for themselves. Shimmy is on the side of things, wants to move into Mira Knight as well here. He may be the one in some trouble now. The knockup does hit Luminous. Aelith is low. That's first blood, but it's traded back, and It may be Simon Fraser on the run for more here. Luminous with the flash over the
He
wall.
has flash.
Didango wants to come for this one. There's nowhere for Luminous to go. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't miss, but was looking for auto attacks. Didn't have anything on cooldown, and a flash forward for nothing more as Set Maverick goes in. Headbutt right back out, and it's a one-for-one trade. Slightest advantage to University of British Columbia here.
Actually, I would say the advantage is going over to Didango because he got the kill onto Boyru, which means he got those buffs that he missed out on. So now he's actually technically starting with a 4-buff start, which is huge. Not to mention, it does put Boyru down a little bit more in his jungle, makes him go back. He's going to come out into the jungle with a longsword and his upgraded jungling item. But hold on, Didango, he's going to...
Well, there's no plan.
Why did
you
you stay?
Flashed.
You can't.
This is really rough. The knock-up, not going to land, and Didango
well,
goes down to Mirror Knight. Now it's a buff transfer complete. UBC with the double buffs on their top laner, Mirror Knight. No summoners, not going to matter. He's going to be feeling really good about his position in this game now, and they put so much emphasis onto shutting him down in this exact matchup last time. This time around, a 1-0-1 start with double buffs. It's a little tougher.
These two buffs, the blue and the red, they have been on 3 different champions already at 5.5 minutes.
Ping-ponging.
So far, that's exactly what's happening. Didango, he did not need to be in that jungle. He got his win, go back, and even he had not went back before. Sure. He went back for the first time when he died, and now he's way, way lower in farm than Boyru at the moment.
Nice to see Boyru in some
trouble
here, though. These junglers are just living in each other's side of the map. Yeah, this is a little wild. The Blast Cone going to get him out in one piece. It's what was not available for Didango last time around. Blast Cone was a little bit rough on that end.
Didango, he is going to go back to his own jungle as we see some aggression on the bot side, though.
Yeah, just a little bit of a slap fight, probably not too don't want to stop. Definitive. They like to trade. It's the Alistair who could heal up so much.
Oh boy.
Throughout.
I get a flash out of him.
Yeah, Aelith has to be careful. Not going to get flashed this time around, and knew that he could probably walk out. Mirror Knight did not have the flash to follow anyway, so was safe. But having it back without that teleport to give Mirror Knight a lot more kind of utility and advantage in this lane.
Definitely going to give him some breathing room as he is down on the farm aspect of things. But ever since he got that kill and he had those blue buffs, both those buffs, the blue buff doesn't really help him that much. Obviously, it does give more energy. It helps the recharge of the energy. But you're really looking at that red buff for Aelith's Shin. That's been helping him so much in that top side. Bully out Aelith. I'm sorry, I think I said Aelith with the Shin. I meant Mirror Knight on the Shin. Sure. Helping bully out Aelith, making him go back. And yeah, now Mirror Knight has a nice wave to his advantage, but he'll be able to catch up and farm. He's almost level 6, so we might be seeing some map plays with the Stand United. We've been seeing some aggression on that bot side, especially with Ruggies going in with the headbutt pulverize. Might be coupling a Stand United with that pretty soon.
That's something I do want to keep an eye on just in general is, we talked about him last game as not being very impactful on that Shin, and obviously he had a very rough start. It was the kind of 10-minute play that really crippled the top lane and kept them on the back foot throughout. But I don't know if it's just a result of that. His Stand Uniteds were not that good last game. They really didn't find too many footholds or impactful moments. I think they turned around something in a Dragon at one point, but beyond that, it really just wasn't anything insane. So wondering if he's going to have a better chance of that this game now that he's not as obviously stunted from the front end. But regardless, Simon Fraser still leading this game, the series by a game. Obviously just a little bit behind in this particular game, but it's how last one went too. They were down, they turned it around, and look at this. It just seems afraid of Mirror Knight.
No, it's not like that. He's letting Mirror Knight farm under tower, and Mirror Knight cannot farm under tower very well. He's having a lot of trouble. He missed a huge portion of that wave because the minions were just being taken out before he could auto attack and last hit them underneath the turret. That actually is a huge bane to Mirror Knight because now the wave is pushing against Aelith, and he's already up in CS. It should have been even by now, but Mirror Knight has such trouble farming underneath the turret that I think Aelith was just going to pressure him more, make him miss more. It really wasn't so much he was afraid, just going to try to pressure him and put him on edge in that top side because it's clearly affecting his CS differential here.
So this is, you're telling me this is brave Sir Robin running away.
Didango maybe can run away here.
He's in trouble. He did not stand a chance of living through that one. Boyru with the double bust finds another one, and this may be the jungler of UBC that we saw draw 5 bans last time.
There's a reason why you 5 ban somebody, and it's because you're
Afraid of them, yeah.
I don't want to say afraid, but you respect
Putting
him.
some respect on their name.
Yeah, you
a la Birdman style.
Yeah, you respect him, and you're seeing why. Hold on.
That Maverick wants to get in. Here's the ultimates coming down. Regis into a very low position. Erase is going to find that one, and Stand United was called, but popped right out by the Rupture. He had to be further back, and yeah, Aelith is really making life tough for Mirror Knight in here, and you're right, the farming on the tower, it's getting a little tricky for him. He did find the rest of that wave under no pressure, but now, do they want to find Makoto? He's going to spit damage at them every second. They're unsure about committing to this, so the teleport comes down. That is Aelith in the top side of things. Cancels advantage loss, and yeah, that's going to be a rough position now. Look at this. Luminous has just roamed down naturally. Erase with good timing on the ultimate, but they try to turn this around. Here is Didango. Of course, teleport did not come back in, so Aelith not part of this fight, but I think they're all just going to reset, shake that one off. 500 gold lead still in the favor of UBC, but nothing crazy happening here just yet. No objectives.
It's very subtle as far as the advantage is going over to both SFU and UBC. I really liked exactly how Erase played that. Used the Feather Storm to get out of the Petrifying Gaze, but not only that, baited Luminous into flashing. So Luminous doesn't have a flash anymore.
Or teleport, actually. I thought that was a roam down. That was teleport used.
That was. I thought it was a roam down as well.
Yeah, no, it just snuck up on us there, but speaking of sneaking up, that means Simon Fraser having a nice opportunity to sneak. A Wind Drake, a little Cloud Dragon action for themselves there. Means they are going to move a little bit faster throughout the duration of this game, and that's going to feel good. This is a team that, you know, built that into their composition last time because they were worried it was lacking. Now, roughly the same composition. They're going to be glad that that takes a little bit of that burden off their shoulders, maybe not having to build that Shirelias as early.
They still do have Righteous Glory on the Cho'Gath they're working for. They do have the Catalyst in that top side. Of course, it is so impactful to have a Righteous Glory as a Cho'Gath, because one of the things that you don't want to do against Cho'Gath is fight within his vicinity, within his feast range. Not to mention his auto attacks, his empowered vorpal spikes. They do a lot of damage over after if you get, especially if you land all three of those. You have to auto attack first though. Righteous Glory helps that because it gives a slowdown ring afterward here. Hold on.
Ooh, both out.
Hey!
More down, not in enough time. Saw him.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah. Like,
now you see me, now you don't.
I love it. Even so, that's coded into to where if he had attacked them the last half second, he's supposed to channel anyway. Speaking of getting channeled, that's going to be the Rupture channeling on up. The silence is down. Aelith. Teleport didn't come through. They started and stopped, and that's going to be a paused lag, they say, as long as that's not anything to do in particular with that teleport potentially messing up. Hopefully we don't have any major issues there.
Aelith, by the way, Aelith roamed down without his feast. Had he had feast, may have been able to pick up a kill into that mid lane.
Looking at, well, let's do the math on this while we have the pause. 366 HP onto Luminous in that mid lane. Feast right now, 367. So he would literally have won by 1 point of damage.
Solid math, and it doesn't lie. If he had the feast, would have been able to pick up a kill onto Luminous. I don't really understand the point of roaming, especially top lane if you don't have ultimate. Mid lane can do that going down because there's just a huge amount of burst, or a huge amount of offensive arsenal from any mid lane champion. I mean, at this point right now, you do have a root, and if you do have empowered Mantra Q from Shymi, if he were able to go down to the bot side. And on the opposite side of that, you don't need Petrifying Gaze if you're Luminous to roam down to the bot side. You just need some Noxian Blast and some Twin Fangs, throw those out. Your top laner, though, you usually have one solid execute, or one solid, key factor that really defines you. Cho'Gath is that feast. He needs that to finish off anybody. He's not going to be bursting anybody down without that feast.
The Rupture got it close, and, in the relative ballpark of maybe making the play happen there, but it just did not come out when all was said and done. Needed the feast, and yeah, they're so close to that cooldown. If he'd waited another minion wave, they would have had themselves a nice kill, be tied up 3-3 with one on to Aelith there, which would have felt pretty good. We're back into the game, ladies and gentlemen, and just around the 12-minute mark as everything's coming down. 3-2, only major objective, and we can, stretch to possibly call it major, is that Cloud Drake taken out. Looks like they may want to start some pressure around the tower game, though. Boyru, not if I have my say.
It seems like that the game has really slowed down since Boyru and Didango decided to just be more you know, in their own jungles. A lot of invasions coming out early on, and now it's slowed down. We're going to see if there's going to be any sort of issues coming out from the junglers.
Well, some issues here.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess there's...
Paused again.
Yeah, speaking of issues, that was just coincidental.
It happens.
Yeah, but a lot of the pressure being applied from the junglers, you know, that's what dictates the pace of the game. They've slowed down, therefore the game has slowed down. We've seen teleports come out, they've been canceled, I think 2 of them in a row. Alith came out from the top lane to the mid lane. He wants to make the game go a little bit faster. He doesn't have feats to do that. It's not going to happen. It's been a very slowed down game from that first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think a lot of this, the momentum's just kind of jerking around with some of these pauses too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the first time we've seen this in this series. We had pauses in the first game, 2 or 3 of them. We've had pauses, you know, here. This is our 2nd or 3rd one of this game in particular, and so just that building momentum throughout for these players has to be kind of jilting at the least.
I mean, that's something that we talked about last game too. Whenever UBC was in those pauses, they have a little bit of time to de-stress. This time around, it's not really de-stressing as a factor. It's more of, you know, it's only 12 minutes in, 12 and a half minutes in. There's nothing to really de-stress about. They just want to get going. They got it back into the game. Looks like everything's ready. Getting back, as we see Didango, he did take out his own red buff. He's going to be able to pick that one up, but now Boyru, we might be finally seeing a gank on the bot side here.
Oh, shit, Maverick was there, and little dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge back to a race there. The lovers combo, very strong on this board. Something they can definitely use to get out of sticky situations. Boyru, a sticky champion, but maybe not as effective as getting in as Set Maverick and Erase are at getting out. Those two pretty tough on the board to deal with here, and it's been a power combo that's gone now over to the hands of Simon Fraser twice.
They have that Rakan and Xayah synergy. That's what they are built for. The whole lore is that you have synergy together, get that little bit of extra escape mechanism from Rakan going into Xayah. So you can make more dangerous plays, faster plays. You can get a little bit more spread out and still be safe as the Rakan as the initiation. But we have a gank in the top side.
Initiation. They want to find Mirror Knight. Have to flash out of that one as his E was down to taunt in. Not going to be able to shadow dash out of that one. And they're maybe baiting Boyru here. This could be intense. They're going to get the knock up. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, bait set and trap there. Now Regis is on the way out. Was thinking he may be able to save that one, but not the case. This cow has to mosey on back out to pasture. And with that, it's a good pickup. It's a kill going over now. Credit to Shimey. He's going to want that. So
as Set Maverick getting that kill, so he has the blue buff. He can start spamming out his.
Set Maverick didn't get a kill. He just got the blue buff.
Oh, he just got the blue buff. Yeah. Oh, well, what are the odds of that? He's still finished blue buff, which is something you don't see as a support. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have kills. He does have the blue buff.
That's a little better anyway because the EXP stays in the hands then of SFU.
Very much so. And that's something that's still going to work in the favor of Set Maverick. He has blue buff. Now he can spam out that initiation and spam out that escape too. Do a little bit of damage, especially while Ruggies actually now he's back to the bot side. But the MIA for a split second there. Mikado, he's having trouble farming. He's actually down quite a bit of farm right now. Erase doing a great job keeping him pressured. This is something that we did not see as much last game. SFU, they seem to have corrected their laning phase a little bit better.
Feeling a lot more comfortable. Erase this time around had the good chance, and there another pause coming through. It seems to be a trend. We get a few minutes out into the game and then freeze up, and then get a few minutes back and freeze up again, and we're gonna find a solution to this before too long. I think they're trying to swap out a internet cord.
Yeah, I believe an Ethernet cable is possibly faulty there, so they want to get that switched out. Obviously, these players need some of the best equipment, of course, the best connection as well.
Of course.
That's why they're not playing on Wi-Fi. That's why they're playing on iBuy computers as well, because they need the best.
On the line. So I do want to make sure that that they have everything at their disposal to make for the most impressive showing that they can here. They traveled a long way. Both teams, obviously Canadian here, didn't come to California just to play one day of League of Legends. They both want 2 days at their back, and they have to do that by, unfortunately, denying that opportunity to their Canadian counterpart. Looks to be Simon Fraser potentially here, tied. They've got the momentum in the series. They even up in this game, only about 400 goals separating these two teams, and this is a situation I don't think UBC really expected to find themselves in. Again, we kept hearing that phrase, ooh, tournament favorite, UBC tournament favorite. Last RMU, they said, I think it'll be UBC and us in the finals. Against Illinois, they said it'll be UBC and us in the finals. We asked even, SFU here, they're like, yeah, no, UBC's really good, and we're scared.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of confidence on UBC's side. I think the interview may have been shown earlier. There was a lot of confidence coming out from University of British Columbia.
Right.
They scrim the varsity side, the varsity team of University of British Columbia, which, while it's not of yesteryear's British Columbia, the two-time champions, they're still a great team. They made it to the playoffs.
Yes.
They still have a lot of talent on the side of University of British Columbia. Varsity team, the JV, they said that they scrim them. They do relatively well against them too, which, coming from JV.
Herald popped.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We're back in the game. That's going to be Boyru coming down with the Rift Herald. Rift Herald was a huge part of what broke the game open last time.
Right.
For the likes of Simon Fraser. This time around, UBC the ones to take it. We'll see if they can chew it back out before it chews through their towers. They do want to find the damage onto the champions, but they need to police the Rift Herald first. So not even a tower going to go down for this, although the makings of that first tower advantage in the works for UBC. Possibly not what they wanted off the rip, but everything is okay there. So with that, they're going to get the Rupture Rock in here and try to find a little bit more damage there. Just keep on policing out and finding what they need to.
Mirror Knight is going to be shoved in, and this is something that has been a big thing the entire game. But look at his CS count now. He's gotten the items. That means that he can farm out just fine. He has the Tiamat. He has no problem farming underneath the turret now, something he had a lot of trouble with early on. Yeah, Aelith, he's still going to keep him shoved into the turret. Here comes the teleport, though. Dango, he's on that top side. Wouldn't be surprised. This is the time when you strike. If that teleport is down, that means if he goes down, that turret is going to go down. Dango's on the backside.
Dango is here. He just hits the tower once. He's more interested in taking that out than he is getting the kill on a Mirror Knight. Mirror Knight can force the aggression with the taunt, but it was not available, and that means Aelith and Dango do find the first tower, despite the best efforts of the Rift Herald in the bottom lane for University of British Columbia. SFU take the gold lead by a stunning 200 for the first time we've seen this game.
A lead is a lead, and that is something that is so advantageous. Whenever you are shoving up so far like that, that sets up a play to be able to dive the turret, take it out, because it's a very slow kill in that top side. But if you keep the minions pushed to turret, you're going to just nickel and dime that turret ever so slightly. You set it up for a gank like that. Very nicely played by SFU.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, a Mountain Drake taken out and away at the right time coming out now. Makoto was able to pick that one up, and so they're going to feel pretty good about that, getting that point back on the board for themselves. And of the two Drakes on the table right now, that Mountain probably going to be more impactful, especially when you have the likes of a Kane, when you have the likes of a Kaisa, and of course, Luminous, already so strong at taking out objectives like Baron, like Dragons. So it's going to be a nice return for them. They knew they were free to do it. They saw Dango in the top lane. They said, now's our chance.
New trade over a turret for that Drake. It is just one of the cause and effects of the Rift. It's something that you have to kind of wait out later on as far as priority. Right now, SFU, they didn't want to put priority on that Drake. They already have one. It's the Cloud Drake. You do want the Mountain Drake over the Cloud Drake, but at the same time, you just want turrets. And they saw an opportunity. Might as well go ahead and take that one. Mirror Knight, they wanted to try to get a kill possibly. Also, seeing that Mirror Knight just took that turret, or just took that teleport to the top side. Gonna go with the consolation prize, if you call it that, really. Get the turret on the top side instead.
Let's take a look at this bottom lane matchup really quickly. I mean, we have a good 20 CS and a kill advantage coming out now for Erase over on the side of Simon Fraser. He's about 6,500 compared to 5,800 for the likes of Makoto, but the net of that in itemization, we're sitting on a Guinsu's Rageblade and a Zeal versus a Death's Dance on the hands of Makoto, and so it's really a bit of a mismatch in favor of Erase right now, and as impactful as Set Maverick has been throughout, that's only compounding to me here.
The Death Dance is a very standard item for Makoto, Kaisa's lately. You can get in there, do a lot of damage, not to mention heal yourself up. It does have the Vampiric Scepter factor to it as well. But it also keeps you from being bursted down because of the damage over time that it has to apply from the passive of Death Dance. It's very nicely, a nice item pickup. More likely going to be finding a stinger later on as well. That's one of the things about Kai'Sa. You build very, it's a very interesting build path for Kai'Sas nowadays, but very effective nonetheless.
I like it. Just don't like it being necessarily behind the Xayah. That's where it gets a little bit of trouble because the rapid fire cannon completed now already as well. And so things just getting trickier and trickier by the moment. It's a recurve bow picked up from Makoto, so going to try to make sure that we're okay on the blow for blow. Just the speed of it all. Daidango and Aleph here, they want to get Luminous in some trouble. That's going to be a nice stall up actually with the Petrifying Gaze. Daidango was not ready for that one, and it bought time for the Stand United to channel, and they just pushed through. That's a big kill picked up for Luminous there. He's 2-0 on the start yet again in game number 2, and this is looking familiar to game number 1, just on a slower timeline. Now Erase and Luminous in some trouble. Yeah, he teleported down there. That's going to be the Summoner Heal Burned. Erase in some real trouble. Can you get the kill? What? Oh my goodness, Erase! Holy God. He's going to die for it, but what a hero play to pick that one through. That was insane.
That was an insane amount of I won't say, I guess, no, it is. It was complete patience because he saw everyone else from UBC coming onto that bot side. Meanwhile, Aleph able to pick up Mirror Knight as well. There's a turret going down in favor of UBC on the bot side. So a lot of pressure being applied around on both sides of the map right now.
They are just beating each other down left and right. No holds barred, swinging for the fences on every play here, and I love to see this kind of unhinged League of Legends. They know this is how they're going to win the game. This is how they're going to win the series and push heavily on into tomorrow's grand final match.
Looks like a little bit of attention going to be paid to the mid lane from UBC. They're not going to rotate top lane, typically what we do see, though Makoto and Riggies might be going up to the top side after they push this wave. That is typically what we see. So you see the mid lane, the bot lane of SFU also doing the exact same in that mid lane. So it's going to be interesting to see where they decide to rotate their champions. Mirror Knight making his way to the top side as well, telling me that he might just keep him into that top side now that it's pushed so far back, and just let him have room to farm. He has teleport up. His Stand United is going to be up pretty soon as well. Might just be waiting out and farming up into this mid game.
A lot of posturing coming around this Baron at this point in the game. They know it was what gave the game on a silver platter to Simon Fraser last time. They don't want to make the same mistake for Columbia, so they're all worried about that. But split push potential coming online from Aleph, not exactly where it needs to be. That's a teleport used to get to the bot lane tower. Mirror Knight is serious about making sure this thing doesn't go down. But now there's going to be a massive teleport advantage coming out for Aleph there. Yeah, wow.
Petrifying Gaze nowhere near the mark there. Just a whiff. That was quite the whiff.
So not the best pickup for themselves there, but not going to be too worried about it either. So try now, moving back towards this dragon.
Second Mountain Drake.
Going to be what they try to find out for themselves here. If it's a second Mountain Drake, it would be coveted by both teams. They both want to put their stamp on that, and especially we're talking about popping around Baron. Here's where it gets all the more important.
UBC, they definitely want this Mountain Drake. They already have Kai'Sa, they have the Cassiopeia, they have the power to take out a Baron very quickly. Two Mountain Drakes would compound that so much. It's going to be a big priority, but hold on.
There it is. Navrik's going in. He wants to find Makoto. Buying some time
Nothing
for Aleph,
up.
The back line is there from Boyru, and look at this. Mirror Knight trying to get under this one. Makoto's health bar is very low. He channels all the way through for the Stand United, and is saved by the skin of the teeth. And now Aleph is on the run out of this one. His health bar is compromised. No one has died yet here, Fekez, but Reggie wants to say something about that. They're going to turn it in. Mirror Knight is here, and they're still finding it, but Mirror Knight finds one. The second one goes down already, and Luminous gets the kill. Meanwhile, Mirror Knight goes down on the return, and Set Navrik and Erase still very healthy.
And despite erasing, oh my God,
look at that!
They're still going.
The turnaround, it's the triple kill. Can they find more off of this one? Erase, can he get it? No, does get picked off by the very edge of things. And Luminous and Makoto limp out of that one in one piece.
The damage dealers of UBC are alive, so they can take this Drake no problem by themselves very quickly. We're seeing the power of Luminous, the amount of damage he's able to apply to that Drake. Two Mountain Drakes on the side of UBC. That is so huge for them. They can sneak a Baron so quickly now. All they need to do is throw Mirror Knight and Luminous into the Baron pit. If they keep the rest of SFU distracted, they can take
takes care of itself.
They can take care, take it so quickly.
That is insane. Glad to pick that one up for themselves. And what a fight coming out. We're still not even fully recovered. Erase and Shimey just came up. I mean, that is so wild to me. Ping's coming down onto Baron right now. They know that that's going to be the next thing they want to target and find. It's going to be tough. Even with the 2 Mountain Drakes, Erase, Shimey, Aelith in that pit, I mean, all of it is going to amount to a very big uphill battle. And the teleport advantage, something we have to keep in mind here. Aelith can split push. His teleport is about to come off cooldown. Both Stand United and teleport are down for a good amount of time now for Mirror Knight.
We're looking at the items right now about how SFU were able to catch out UBC last game. They need to do that again, but they don't have a Skarner to help them out.
Catch out, set Maverick.
Yeah.
Close one, did get out, but they were trying to set up a death rush for him. UBC.
Oh, they're doing the Baron.
That is going to be at the expense of their bot lane tower. The Baron is coming down. That might be the teleport coming out through. It needs to be soon, but Aelith just came off cooldown. Not going to be there. UBC does get the Baron. They're going to get over the wall as well. Shiny goes down. And that's a big pickup. We talked about those 2 Mountain Drakes, and they said the split push, more important from Aelith. This time it has not been going well for him. Luminous as well has teleport, so if they need to get down to that bot lane in emergency, but they know they don't need to, they can just push through the mid lane.
Aelith needs to teleport to the mid lane to help his team because he's not going to do anything productive on that bot side.
No.
And actually Mirror Knight is going down there just to answer him because Mirror Knight doesn't need to be with his team at this point. They have Baron and Power and minions. They also have a Cassiopeia to create so much zoning around the siege. We're seeing that they're completely putting SFU on the back foot.
Another tower down.
That's another tower, 2 in a row off this Baron push. And the Baron, it just got on them too. So this is new. They still have a lot of time. They're going for the Nexus, the inhibitor turret.
Yeah.
Inhibitor turret now. We have the Baron and Power cannon minion there as well. Aelith going on the wrong side of town through that. He's actually going to take a little bit of damage. There he goes. Finally, broke the
BC looking to push us into a 3rd game with the momentum that they're building right now. Obviously nothing written in stone for this 2nd game just yet, except a large death toll already for both schools. Been losing life left and right. They try the sneak brush again.
Nice scouting.
Yeah, sniffed out by Shimey. He knows that's happening there, but can't really do anything about the big problem, which is Makoto pushing in so heavily, and they were using Luminous to proxy the wave beforehand, so this same wave of minions is just going to cause so much trouble. It's the engage by Regis, but wasn't thought out well enough. Shimey and Erase are out of that one, but still just buying time for these towers, and potentially another inhibitor turret.
That's 4 turrets.
UBC is going to be knocking on the door of here.
They've gotten 4 turrets out of this Baron thus far. They're looking for 5 right now, and
dive
kills.
into this one, getting ready to find the damage. Set Maverick is the target, but look at this. It's not going their way. Regis does go down. They find the turret because the minions are there, and Makoto is just focused on the objectives. But this may give some time now for SFU to try to get back into things. They've lost a lot of their front line peel.
Makoto's so strong!
Look at him. He is just absolutely blasting. This is why Kai'Sa was a priority. They're going to go in for this one. They're going to get it down. That is the damage, but look at this. Luminous is going to be able to find a lot of damage throughout this one. Can he stay alive long enough? The answer is no. They get all but one. Mirror Knight, the last surviving member, and you have to wonder, was this not just because UBC overstayed?
They pushed in, they got 5 turrets. So even if they overstayed, that is still a big win for them. They got 5 turrets out of that, one of them being the inhibitor turret on the top side. So that is going to be a sore spot for SFU that they need to patch somehow. They need to watch after that one. And man, what a push by UBC. And yeah, getting a little over aggressive there. We have the Nashor's Tooth already fixed up bot for the Kai'Sa. I mean, he's going to be even more powerful coming into this next team fight. That is a very scary Kai'Sa. 3-1-5 right now. 3 items strong, including the boots, with being a 4th one, actually, if you want to count that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go to a 3rd game to see that Kai'Sa taken off the table. They banned Anivia, and let's see here, with another top laner, Darius, who's banned out. SFU did not want to deal with either of those. I have to wonder now, is Makoto on this Kai'Sa? Keep in mind, pick 3 times in a row against I believe it was UCI.
Yeah.
At this point, you have to wonder if that's not for good reason. We've seen it in 4 out of the 5 games we've ever seen this guy play on CSL stream, and it's been going well for him. It's been working thus far.
Kai'Sa is a very comfortable pick for Makoto. That is something you have to consider if you're SFU. They put so much priority and focus onto the jungler that they forced him to pick out his priority pick early on, which is something that they should have done last game. We might not be able to have the potential for game number 3 if you know, if UBC were able to get that early jungler, aggressive jungler. Hold on, while I'm talking about that, there's an aggressive.
Nearsighted though. The rest of the team not ready to follow up. We'll see whether or not it's going to turn into too much for them this time around. Set Maverick getting into the middle of things. A Petrifying Gaze only finding the Cho'Gath, but Erase is separated. Set Maverick does go down, but look at this. They've killed Makoto early, and this could be bad
priority
for Mirror Knight. Boyru is in the midst of things, and he's going to get in some trouble as well. Stand United huge for him, but it's not enough, and they find yet another one. Mirror Knight is the last one here. It's going to be Aleph coming in with the flash. Mirror Knight getting out by the skin of his teeth, but it's only Set Maverick dead. Dragons are coming up. There are towers to take. It's 40-second death timers across the board. Makoto's the only one coming close, and he's 25 away, Fekez. This is going to be bad for University of British Columbia.
This is such a large push that they can create because Aleph can just tank up all of these shots. They just need one minion to take down its defenses in order to take this. They have 2 ADCs on the side of SFU. The Graves and...
this would be
oh
big.
my gosh. Jaime, he's going in. It's so much tankiness on the side of Mirror Knight, though. You can't risk that.
No, they're going to take the 2 towers. They're going to be happy for it. They have to police their own now. The minions in the top lane causing some trouble. The minions as well pushing out the mid before that reset happened. And it's another Cloud Drake. It's a little bit of bad luck of the draw that, you know, Simon Fraser, they were strong on the front end when they could get the first Drake. Now they're strong now, and it's the second Drake. And it's, oh no, going into Elder. The 2 Drakes, definitely the luck fell into the hands of UBC here. But Simon Fraser is saying we don't care about luck. We're making our own destiny here, and we're trying to claw this one back. It's not the biggest deficit in the world. 3K at 30 minutes doesn't mean that much, and they can do a lot with this.
That Cloud Drake is going to be extremely important, but hold on, Aleph is actually going to be caught out here.
Yeah, he's all alone. There's no surviving this one from Makoto. That's going to be a huge pickup. That is bad news for the University of British Columbia. You're going to love that.
That is their tank down, their only frontline champion
45
down.
seconds.
That is so huge for UBC as they push into these turrets. I was going to say that Cloud Drake is going to be so important if that Elder Drake comes up, but the game doesn't make it to that. Who cares? UBC, they just want to shut this one out now.
They are rallying indeed. Still the defense from Simon Fraser. We saw a good last-ditch play coming out for them, but it may indeed be last ditch. We'll see if they can do much here because Ayla's still down for 20 seconds. They're going to lose at least 1 inhibitor here. They cannot fight without their tanks. It would be fools to try, but they're going to be fools indeed. Looking like they can just push them off. The minion wave was there. This is going to save that inhibitor, and this means that, yes, while they lost 2 towers for it, that's not the end of the world, or the end of this game, rather, as Aleph does respawn. Baron's up in 10 seconds. This becomes the center point of the game.
Aleph was almost up during the siege of the inhibitor.
They're moving to Baron already.
That is going to be a big priority target. UBC, they don't have confidence in being able to take out the members of SFU quick enough. This is an interesting play by SFU.
They want to find it. They feel like they're on the back foot. That was Petrifying Gaze just used for nothing, and Set Maverick's going in with the knockouts. They're turning around for a fight, but look at this. Regis is there. Set Maverick is low, and the support combat goes the way of that one, but Kane does go down into this one, and look at this. The health bars are dropping quickly from SFU. Luminous picks up another one, but look at him. He's just absolutely blistering through them, and now this is some trouble. Makoto trying to get through, and triple kill already for Luminous means that this is likely going to be the Baron, potentially the ace as well. Erase the last one alive. And UBC are winning this game for sure at this point.
Regis knocked Erase over the wall. He couldn't do any damage after that one. And there was so much focus on Regis. He took up all that damage and was able to survive every bit of it. Huge, huge play for UBC, and they're going to take this into a game number 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, the series is going the distance. It's going to be the University of British Columbia answering back. Simon Fraser took the first game convincingly after a certain point in time. And they did turn it around, but now there's nothing they can do. Makoto so strong. You have to wonder, is this the Kaisa pick? Is this Luminous as well on the Casio? The draft from UBC made all the difference in the world this time. And it is going to propel them for one more game, one final shot for each of these teams at the grand finals tomorrow.
And I don't even think that... I actually don't think that was a massive amount of pressure from the jungler either. They prioritized banning away Boyru, and the thing is that I don't think that really resulted in that big of a difference.
No.
I think that was just individual play being accelerated, being put on a higher level.
Yes.
Not to mention Kaisa, of course. Kaisa is a great champion for Makoto. He's very used to that one.
So good at it, right?
But overall, the individual play of UBC just got way better than over compared to game number 1.
I think so. I think now we really have a series on our hands. If Simon Fraser can come back from that loss, learning a little bit, saying, hang on, what are we going to do about this Makoto problem? Where can we fix it? Maybe we're going to see a very exciting game number 3, because I honestly don't know who I think has the advantage at this time. I honestly don't know if I had to call for this next game. I think it's going to come down so heavily to picks and bans, and especially whether or not they can get Makoto off of Kaisa.
Well, you might be seeing a side switch. So SFU would be
Likely,
back on blue side, which is where they won the first time. UBC won on blue side.
Yeah. It's a blue-sided series thus far.
It's so far, blue-sided series might be the pivotal factor in this game number 3.
Well, with all that in mind, I mean, it's a tough hill for both of these guys. They've come all this way from Canada. The nerves have to be setting in now. Hopefully now we're done with this pause game that we've been playing. It seemed pretty smooth for the last 10, 15 minutes of that last game around. And so if we can just get in, let the players play their game, let the draft run clean, we're going to be in for a treat.
This is, again, finals are tomorrow. This is game number 3. The pressure is on for both of these teams. There is no denying that one. They need to bring their best and come into game number 3 on fire. They can't have a bad laning phase.
No.
They can't have bad team fights. They can't get caught, and they cannot give up Barons.
We talk about League of Legends as a game of momentum. It's been shifting. It's been swaying. UBC had it first. Now SFU had it. Now UBC has it again. And so with that, we'll see if the pendulum continues to swing back and forth, or if this is all the UBC show from this point on.
They looked impressive.
They did.
They looked way more impressive than game number 1. Mirror Knight, I feel like, still had a little bit of trouble. Aelith was still pressuring him in that top side. He had a lot of trouble farming underneath the turret early on.
Yes.
And there wasn't that much jungle pressure after about the 13-minute mark. There really wasn't that much of a factor coming out from the jungles. It was mostly just, again, individual laning mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, really, we saw so much priority put on to Boyru here. We're afraid of Boyru from the UBC side, and then said, hey, you know what, Boyru on Kane? A little underwhelming. I mean, had a great early game. Do not get me wrong. The just cerebral play that he was able to do.
Threw it away, though.
Drafted the first round jungle. Got in with the sweet early invade, the 3. Yeah, he threw it away. Then it was thrown back away by the jungler for SFU.
They went on to Mirror Knight after that.
Yeah, and then they handed back over the buffs, and it was all this kind of weird. The buffs that game, actually, were just very weird if you consider the context of just...
Okay. Rakan got a blue buff as well.
He picked up one that was on an invade that was baited out against Boyru when he was starting to slump in the later half of the game. It's just all kind of a head-scratcher from the likes of the jungle that time around, so... We'll see now, what kind of amendments can be made in the jungle, whether or not it's still, hey, we got to ban Zach, we got to ban Lee Sin, and let's see who as well they banned here. Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Kha'Zix. Zach was another one. They banned away Skarner also.
Yeah.
That was actually banned by SFU, or no, UBC last game because they didn't want that Skarner being able to be on SFU to be picked.
Sure.
Because that was one of the big.
It was so good for them in game 1.
That was one of the big issues that they did not have. SFU didn't have in game number 2. Is that pick potential? They had Rakan with Shirelias. They had Righteous Glory with Cho'Gath on top lane.
Yes.
But in the mid lane they had Karma. There's really not much pick potential there. You do have a route, but it's a delayed route. You have to keep the tether on for so long. You don't have an automatic impale and then bring you back. They had Graves in the jungle. You're not catching anyone with Graves and bringing them back to your team.
No.
Yeah. The most you can do is catch somebody and kill them with Graves, and that's a one-on-one scenario. You're not doing much for your team after that, though.
And the Graves really did seem to be just an attempt at a direct answer to the Kane pick.
Yeah.
This time around, I would be interested to see Simon Fraser go for something that fit a team composition just a little bit better, because how much dueling in the jungle did we even see? And when we did see it, when did it go into the hands of Graves instead of favor Kane?
It was early on that we actually saw dueling in the jungle. After that, it wasn't really that relevant. So, yeah, I would like to see, I was expecting to see an Olaf. I would much rather have seen an Olaf because you need you need more tanks than just Aelith on Cho'Gath on the top side. You already had, I know what they were going for. There's not much damage potential in the mid lane for a Karma. It's mostly utility mid lane. So you want a damage point in the jungle to complement your ADC damage. But that just makes it really easy to prioritize your items over on the side of UBC, something they had no problem with because the main damage points were physical. You can just build armor. It's no problem for them. So that is something I would like to see SFU correct this time around. get a tankier jungler that can still be aggressive. Olaf was up. Play Olaf. If you don't know how to play Olaf, I have a montage on the internet right now of me dying for 7 times in one game as Olaf and then winning. I even missed my Elder Drake smite because I'm terrible at League of Legends. Oof. I still won that game because Olaf is a pretty easy champion to pick up, but not to mention, he is just a very powerful early game jungler. He has true damage, something that a lot of junglers don't have, and that would really help out with duels, especially if you're going against an aggressive jungler. If he aggresses onto you, you have Undertow slowing him down. You also have Reckless Swing giving true damage, which is so pivotal early on because the health bars, health items aren't built yet.
No, and truly just would have been a better compositional fit. I think a lot of that last game had me kind of scratching my head at the draft of SFU. They did a really good job drafting in game number 1, and then the side swap where, Red side usually has a stronger draft didn't work out for him this time, so we're going to see if they can kind of recapture that lightning in a bottle from the first game, or if this is all downhill from here at this point. They're back onto the blue side. UBC on the red side, so we'll see how that does impact this game. It's the back and forth, the volleyball ping pong style of side selection here, and with that, pressure's on right here on the cusp of game number 3.
And I do want to say, obviously me dying 7 times as Olaf is not an analyst point, but it does show that Olaf does have his purpose in game. Obviously everybody knows that. There's a lot to Olaf that if you're not comfortable on Olaf, he still adds so much to the game that it's almost advantageous to play him, just because, again, he adds so much. Not to mention Ragnarok is so pivotal in team fights to be able to run, especially early game, to run to the back lines. And if you're running into the face of a Cassiopeia, pop that Ragnarok, she's not going to stop you after that. And she's very vulnerable to an Olaf up close, especially early on, which is something, again, we just didn't see enough pressure from the junglers early on, something Olaf would really help out with.
Quick update for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting into a different lobby here. That's the delay for this third game, and then we should be ready to just hop right into picks and bans and make all sorts of fun League of Legends action happen here on the Rift today, but had some issues with potential tournament codes and so
that
forth.
Happens. Yeah. I mean, the tournament codes, they've been kind of hit or miss this time around, but with that being said, this is going to be game number 3. Actually, now, we did mention earlier that no matter what the other game is going to be going on, I think we're actually, if we do run into the Robert Morris versus Illinois game, we're just going to take a brief moment of reprieve and then set up for that. We only have one arena for the League of Legends players, so even though it is going to be starting at 3 o'clock, or on schedule to start at 3 o'clock, if we run over, we're just going to start as soon as possible after that.
Yeah, of course, and there shouldn't really be too much overlap there. Looking at about 2:30 on the clock right now, and 3, we see the 30-minute games on average, so a little bit of overlap time. We have the post-game interviews, of course, as well, with a representative from a winner here, so we'll see all of that just start to bubble out, and it does take its time, but you know what? I don't have anything else to do today. I'm going to watch some Counter-Strike at some point.
I am actually here to cast League of Legends, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, besides casting, what else do we got on the docket here?
Right. There's a lot of things to do in Huntington, California. Like I said, Huntington Beach, California. Like I said, if you're in the Southern California area, stop by, check us out.
Today, tomorrow, action all weekend.
There's a lot of things to do. There's Dota, there's CSGO, there's League of Legends, there's Smash, there's a Fortnite tournament going on, there's meet and greets, there's panels, all sorts of things. There's a concert going to be going on pretty soon as well. Food trucks outside too.
That's calling my name.
Yeah, I know. I would like to hit those up sometime today. I don't know when they're going to be leaving.
We'll see if we get that much of a break.
Yeah, right. There's only two best of 3s going on today, and this is one of them. Next one is going to be Robert Morris University versus Urbana-Champaign at Illinois. So there is
another promising series.
There's another promising series. This is the battle of the Western Conference with obviously UBC, SFU being Canadian neighbors.
Yeah.
Next one is going to be the Northern Conference.
Illinois neighbors?
Yep, Illinois neighbors. Robert Morris University is based in Illinois, and of course, Urbana-Champaign at Illinois. If you can't gather that it's from Illinois with those words, then I don't know what to tell you on that
I know what to tell them. We're in picks and bans. That's what I'm telling them. We're going to kick it on over to your screen here, ladies and